Yo, so what's going on, guys? Opponent, we have another story time. Playing a little COD4 on a gameplay I got earlier today. It's been a while since I put a little up, and the reason for being is my computer broke Monday, which is actually the topic of the day. My computer broke, and I had to get a guy to come fix it. We're going to talk about that, but the reason I haven't been able to post up COD or Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Future Soldier or anything like that is because I was so occupied with Battlefield, I forgot entirely that, hey, I don't have my hard drives and everyone, no computer. And I lost all of that good stuff, and without that, I'm just kind of screwed, you know what I mean? I have no more gameplays, and then I woke up today, and I'm like, oh, let's upload a COD, and I'm like, shit, I don't have any. I know has had none. So, we're going to cut into the commentary today. This commentary is going to be very unique, because this is something that should only ever happen once in a lifetime, and if it ever was to happen again, I would probably laugh and make another commentary about it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, my computer broke Monday. I told my mom, and, you know, I went to her, and there was a couple tears. I won't lie. And I'm like, Mom, my baby broke. And she's like, shut the fuck up, son, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, you know, because she acts like my dad, too. I didn't have one of those either, so she filled those pants, too. So, in a polite term, she said, you know what, I'll take care of it. So she called a guy. She's like, this guy fixed my computer. He's amazing. So he gets here. Lag. Right, what? There we go. We're back. And, So he calls me. He's like, hey, man, I'll be there about 6:37. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. I'm just like, it's cool. So he calls, and he's like, oh, okay, 7 o'clock comes by. I'm like, oh, you're not here yet? And he's like, I'll be there in like a half hour. I'm like, okay. So, and he stalls for another 4 hours. 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, he gets here. And I'm like, oh, great, dude. What happened? You get caught in a hurricane or something, motherfucker? And he gave some excuse how he fell asleep after the doctor's office closed, and they locked him in there. I'm like, this is going to be a fun night if you gave me that kind of story, motherfucker. So he's sitting there, and, so he's 4 hours late, he's working, he's trying to find out what's wrong with it. It's an issue with the hard drive. He knew what the problem was, but just like I did, and you know, a lot of other people would have. But how to fix it, I didn't know. So he was just going to replace it entirely with one of the hard drives he brought. He brought 2 hard drives. The first hard drive failed after we installed Windows and had all my programs in Vegas and everything done after about 3 hours. That one failed, and he was like, oh, fuck, I knew one of these was bad. I just didn't know which one. I'm like, shouldn't you fucking label them? Shouldn't you put a damn thing on them somewhere? So, okay, a rant over on that. But anyways, get into the fun part. So, you know, after like an hour being here, he starts installing. He's like, I'm going to put an install on the first faulty one. He's like, I'm going to install Windows. Do you care if I go pick up my wife from the strip club? She's just now getting off. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you don't mind if we come back here? And I'm like, no. Like, you don't mind that she's black? I'm like, no. And it's like taking a lot to process. I'm like, do I care if she's black? No. Do I care if they're coming over here? No. And then I'm like, should I ask him? I mean, she's at the strip club. Is she a bartender? Is she a stripper? What's going on? But I'm afraid to ask because this dude's like weird. First thing he said to me when he walked in, he looked at my tower and he goes, oh my god, I've got a boner, right? I'm like, me and this guy are going to get along. You know what I mean? But it turns out he's actually just weird as fuck. So that does happen sometimes. I'm not saying I'm normal, but this guy was weird as fuck. So he gets in here and he's like, oh, sure. So about an hour and a half later, he's still, you know, another hour and a half late after he's 4 hours late initially. And he was only here for like, you know, a half hour. He doesn't bring her back, but that's fine, because during that period, at some point, you know, I had to go ahead and wake my wife up at 2 in the morning and be like, hey, honey, there's, you know, the guy, he was here, he got home, and he went to go pick up his wife. She's a stripper, and they're going to come over. And my wife is like, wait, what? Because there's like this unwritten law that you have to tell your wife that you're bringing a stripper home if she's home. You know what I mean? You gotta do that, just in case you need to go buy a pole or something. But, you know what I mean? I had to wake her up and I had to tell her, and it freaked her out. And no, he gets her and he's telling me all these stories. He didn't bring her. And he tells me how he just met his 13-year-old son for the first time, how he had a heat stroke on Monday, and all this other bullshit. And dude kind of looked like Nick Bunyan, so I'm pretty sure that me and him met in real life. It was kind of weird. And so I'm sitting there talking to him. He's telling me all these stories about him and his wife and how they have an open relationship and how, you know, he gets to fuck all these women and she could fuck dudes if she wants, but she doesn't do it because he's all the man she needs. But apparently he, you know, had a heat stroke and has back problems, and he also has cancer. In case you didn't know, the reason he was at his doctor's office was to save his Medicaid, which he's trying to take care of, so he can't smoke weed anymore, so he doesn't lose it. So he tells me all the story how they have an open relationship, but he's only allowed to fuck white women. She's black, so apparently there's some. I don't know if she wants to be replaced or if there's going to be, you know, an alpha female kind of thing going on, but he's not allowed to sleep with any other black women, but they both can interact. They can have threesomes and stuff with all these white women, and they don't care. So he ended up, you know, telling me all the story, and I'm like, that's not a marriage to me, dude. That's just, like, fucking stupid. So he's telling me all this stuff. He's got an open relationship, cool, high-five at Dandy, and it turns out he also knocked up one of the white women, and the wife doesn't know yet. Oh, shit, Maury, where you at?